Friends, thank you for listening. This is Frederick Henry of the Frederick Henry Show, and this is a podcast. I wanted to just say in the very beginning, if you're listening to this, thank you very, very much. You know, I read all this material that says in order to have a podcast, you have to do it every day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, at 8 o'clock, whatever it is, the same amount of time, the same time length, the same people, the same list of people, everything like that. This is not an endeavor of money-making for me. This is not a commercial enterprise. This is just me, a fellow citizen voter, and I emphasize the word citizen, and I emphasize the word voter, sharing with those who care to listen thoughts about what's happening in our day. And so I apologize if you expect a more professional and more commercial and maybe ask for money and all that kind of business broadcast. I don't do that. I share with you, and I thank you. I thank you because your time is precious and you're important. And you don't necessarily have to listen to this. And so if you do, I'm just so absolutely honored that you do. I'm reminded of my very best friend, Rush Limbaugh. I don't know Rush. I never met Rush, but I admire Rush. He's the maker of a whole genre called talk radio. And he's a sick man, but he still goes on trusting his way through every day. Wonderful, wonderful guy. And he said in his comments about when he announced his sickness that he envisions, he can see his audience. And I can see you, dear friends. I can see you in my mind's eye, in my heart's eye, in the eye of my soul, listening to this podcast. And I want you to know how very appreciative I am of this. So let's get on to it. This is a podcast, as usual, of everything about Trump. And the first thing I want to do is congratulate America again. I just think that Americans should be so proud of themselves. We are an awesome people, a wonderful people, and we are treated poorly. And what I mean by that is I think that the COVID virus, the aftermath, Antifa, and all the rest of this business, the rioting and everything else, is, I happen to believe, is programmed by people. The COVID is not programmed, but once it arrived, then it became programmed. And the shutdowns became programmed. All Democrat states, all Democrat governors, draconian, unbelievably Nazi-esque shutdowns. Wear a mask. If you wear a yellow Star of David. If you don't, you're going to be ostracized. Lockdown. Kiss my feet. Antifa. Bow down. Take a knee. All this kind of business. Unbelievable. If you look at some of the historical photographs of the Nazi era, you're seeing the Nazi playbook all over again. And Nazism is the National Socialistic Party of the German people. It's a socialist party. It's the Democrat Party. It's not Republican. It's not conservative. It's leftist. The Nazis were leftist. Okay, let's go on to the thing. American people have now come out of the coronavirus. They've come out of the lockdowns strong and powerful. In May, our numbers were great, and our stock market is going up, up, up. Why is that? I read an article just the other day, I'm not a stock market guru, where a person said that it isn't the institutional buyers, it isn't the Wall Street buyers, it isn't the mutual fund buyers, it's the people buyers. They all said to themselves, these companies are good companies, they're strong companies, they're not going away anytime soon, their price is discounted 20, 30, 40, 50%, we're buying. So individual investors have gone into the market and buoyed the market and lifted up the market and kept the market strong. And that is being poo-pooed and being discarded by the elite investment gurus who say that mom and pop are going to take a shellacking. Well, we're not going to take a shellacking because we believe in America, we believe in American companies, we believe in the free market economy, we believe in capitalism, we love our country, we love our president, we love our nation, we love our lives, and we're not wasting our money on frivolous things. We're investing in the future because we believe in the future. Congratulations, America. You have won against them again. You beat them again. Now, we have the latest whole thing on Antifa and this Chaz shop, whatever the thing is, where people are taking over entire sections of a city. That's their problem. I don't think it's a national issue. It's a small issue. It's an individual issue. It's a city issue. It's a local issue. We shouldn't be paying any attention to that. Next, we get to the new Democratic unveiling of the way forward. This is a disaster in the making. Please, the way forward, the way forward. This is the new Democrat thing. It's been in the planning stages for a long time. Hannity has spoken about it. Laura has spoken about it. Rush has spoken about it. Don Bongino has spoken about it. A lot of people have spoken about it. I don't know all the details, but I know one thing. The way forward, the Nancy Pelosi program, the Chuck Schumer program, the way forward, will pass through the House of Representatives with a breeze, because all Nancy has to say is vote for it, and all of the Democrat Congress people will automatically, without a doubt, vote for it, whether they know what it is, whether they've ever read it, whether they know what it means, whether they know the ramifications of it. Nancy said, do it, they will do it. And that's absurd, and we should be embarrassed that we have a majority of people in the House of Representatives, Democrat Party, who will do exactly as they're told by an 80-year-old Nancy Pelosi. Unbelievable. Now, in the Senate, Chuck Schumer will do the same thing with the Way Forward bill. He will say to the Democrats, vote yes, and every one of the Democrat senators, bar none, will absolutely vote yes like a bunch of robots, because they have been ordered by the leader to vote yes. I hope and pray that the Republicans individually will vote no, because they will not listen to anyone. So there may be a few Republican defections in the House. I think there may be a few Republican defections in the Senate, notably Mitt Romney, the traitor, who has been endorsed by Trump, who was entertained by Trump for Secretary of State, but rejected, who feels that it is his duty to oppose President Trump and to back the Democrat Party and Joe Biden. Shame, shame, shame on him. He voted for the impeachment. Shame, shame, shame on him. Now, to go forward with this. So the American people have come out of the COVID thing. They come out of the shutdown thing stronger than ever. We bought online, and now we're going back into our communities. Now, some people wear masks. Some people don't. That's an individual decision, folks. That's up to you. I don't think you should wear a Star of David if you don't want to, but if you want to wear a Star of David, then go right ahead and do that. But if you feel that the mask helps you prevent the spread of the COVID thing, then wear one. If you feel that the mask prevents you from getting the COVID thing, then wear one. If you feel otherwise, then don't. It's fine. We'll get through this whole thing. Now, recently, I've come across some articles that talk about the future and say that some people are saying that we should keep our schools, our public schools, closed until 2021, September 2021, or even September 2022. This is a disastrous proposal, my friends, disastrous proposal. It's meant and intended to destroy us and destroy America. And so those who are opposing such a thing should be rejected. And we should reject the idea. We have to go back to school. We have to go back to work. We have to go back to being Americans again, free, home of the brave and the free. Now, relative to President Trump, I think he's doing a great job. He's fighting a war against the United States. There's a war going on. Antifa, other forces, foreign forces, outside forces, internal forces, Democrat forces, even conservative forces, sadly to say, who are out to destroy us in order to get to him. Now, why is he so important? President Trump is the linchpin. He is the pin that holds everything together. Imagine that there are 6 or 7 different directions, and in the center of each direction is a hole. All those holes are overlaid upon each other, and he's the pin that runs through each one of those holes, keeping all of those holes together. Remove that linchpin, and everything goes into disarray, and everything goes into opposite directions, and we will have a disaster. So President Trump is the linchpin who holds it all together for the future. Now, what is the future? The future is yet to be decided. But one thing I can tell you, you should be proud. We don't have insurrection. We don't have civil war. We don't have massive unrest in the streets. Yes, we have Antifa and there's rioting. It's all being paid for by the shadowy people of whoever they are. We don't have lawlessness, really, we don't. Although Yahoo and Google and all those people would like to take Atlanta and Minnesota and whatever it is and make each one of these individual occurrences a national occurrences. They're not. They're local occurrences. They happen in a locality, at a particular time, in a particular place, and to a particular person. And relative to the one in Georgia, I think we should pay attention to that one because I think the police person did his best to prevent any kind of incident. He pleaded with the ultimately the victim to not do what he was going to do. He tried his very best to prevent it from happening, but in the end, when a person took his taser, turned around, aimed it at him, at his face, and pointed it and shot it off in order to kill the officer had every right to defend himself. And they can charge him with 11 and 25 and 35. I don't care. They charge him murder first degree. All ridiculous. If I was on a jury, I would vote innocent on every single count. Not that I wanted the 27-year-old person to die. That is unfortunate. But that's the way it went down. And that happens all the time. Now, relative to all of us, I think we have to move into the future with confidence. Our public schools should be open. Our playgrounds should be open. Our swimming pools should be open. Our daycare centers should be open. Our camps should be open. Our people have to return to a normal way of life, a regular way of life. We should open up travel as much as we can, because don't forget, we don't have international travel because Germany and England and other people, France, are closed. They will not let us travel to their country. It's not our fault. They will not let us travel to their country. It's a two-way street, folks. That's the way it goes. But we need to open up travel internally. We have our national parks, which are open. We have our public systems, which are open. I think the public libraries, the bastions of liberalism, should be opened. The people should demand that the public libraries open again and that we be allowed to use our public libraries again. And so, again, I think we're doing well. We're a strong country, we're a powerful country, and we know our mind. And our people are not rattled, we're not oppressed, we're not suppressed, we're not controlled, we're not dominated. Everybody says, oh, how easy it was to dominate, control, and force the American people to give up their rights. We did not give up anything. We temporarily complied. We voluntarily complied. We all agreed that in the face of the idea that there were 200 million possible infections, 200 million possible infections, resulting in 2,400,000 possible deaths of people, we all agreed this is a serious matter, and from Trump on down, we all agreed to voluntarily comply with the restrictions on our movements, on our liberties, and on our constitutional rights. That time is over, and now we have to move forward. We don't have to retake those rights. We never gave them away. We don't have to fight for those rights to get them back. We never gave them away. We merely voluntarily agreed as a people, as a nation, as a society, to agree to comply with the request of the government that we should be locked down, shut down, etc., whatever it would be. We did not give up anything. We did not change the Constitution. We did not change the laws of the land. We were not suppressed and oppressed. We agreed and we voluntarily gave up temporarily those rights. Now we are taking them back. We are not any longer voluntarily agreeing. We're actually in the opposite direction, and we're addressing our governments, local governments and state governments, and saying to them in our address, we don't want this lockdown anymore. We don't want these restrictions anymore. We want you to reopen the public spaces, reopen the public schools and the public universities, and let's move forward. Now, my last item, which is the statues. I think the tearing down of a statue is a crime, and every single person with their hand on the rope and every single person who stood by and did not stop the tearing down of a public monument should be arrested and should be charged with destruction of public property and whatever other charges we can come up with, conspiracy to commit a felony, whatever it's going to be, because this is wrong. and I, as an American citizen voter, think that the persons involved in this should be arrested. Now, the judges may let them go, the governors may let them go,